Today we venture back into 2023 anime. I feel like 2023 anime was definitely a hype year, and it was just so many shows, and some shows were definitely overlooked. So today I'm not gonna smudge a bunch of shows in your face, but I'm gonna show 5 shows that stuck with me from 2023 anime. So without further ado, let's get straight into the video. As mainstream as it gets, we're starting off with Chainsaw Man. I'm no anime expert, but I feel like Chainsaw Man has some of the best pacing I've ever seen in anime. At least for the anime, I haven't read the manga, but Chainsaw Man gives off a cinematic and realistic feel that I can just appreciate. The characters are vibrant and unique yet so real, but the world they live in just isn't. They live in our everyday world, except there are monsters and devils. That sentence alone should scare away half of the boomers. The monsters and devils, they terrorize peace. Of course, with the first season, we have not seen everything yet, but we get introduced to the unique aspects of the world and the power scale. Very unique and realistic power system, if I do say so myself. And that's something I can definitely appreciate. It's really leaning on sacrifice. You have to sacrifice something to gain power, and that's one thing I love to see. And with a topic and show about monsters and devils that give power, it matches just so perfectly. So in the world of Chainsaw Man, there are regular humans that form contracts with devils. Depending on what your sacrifice is, or what the devil is, or what part of your body or whatever you sacrifice, even if it's like your life force, depends on what power you get. And they're kind of chasing after a main villain right now, but I know there's other aspects to the show that's going to surprise us in the near season, in the near future. But I'm just excited to see where this show goes from here. But that's Chainsaw Man. This ain't Haikyuu, nigga. Haikyuu was cool, don't get me wrong, but Blue Lock just hit different. In a world where they represent show your value or die, and where characters live for ripping each other apart. In our world, that's not normal. I know the show definitely triggered some athletes and fans of the sport. Because of the premise of the show, it was called unrelatable and unrealistic. With that being said, Blue Lock still has to be one of the most realistic anime of all time. I mean, apart from the crazy shit they be saying and doing.
Nagi's true strength. He can generate a trap that breathes life into the ball, or one that absorbs energy, killing it. And now that he's able to use either kind, Seishiro Nagi's scoring formula has been perfected!
Yeah, that's some bullshit. Yeah, but on a real note, I genuinely enjoyed Blue Lock, and I feel like everyone should watch Blue Lock just because it's a good watch, and it's like even if you have not played the sport, you still learn about the sport along the way, and then it's more about the characters and the premise of the show of becoming like the #1 striker. So it's just you in the end. Your teammates can't get you a contract or a scholarship. Your teammates can't make you the best in the world. You can't share carrying the trophy home with someone else. Blue Lock makes this unbelievably realistic like no other show. As a sports anime, it's done its job. It draws you into the characters and drills the reality into your head. There can only be one best striker. There can only be one best defender. It forces the reality of self-improvement onto you. If this isn't realistic to you, I don't know what is. The protagonist is the antagonist. Instead of Light being the main character, L's the main character, but with the mind and attitude of Light. So this show starts off with a doctor and a sick patient. Patient shows doctor idol. Doctor fall in love and support the idol, and then patient dies. Patient just dies. But idol shows up to the hospital pregnant with twins. Then we see like a dark side of the idol, which is like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was kind of like unnecessarily dark. So at this point, I kind of still don't care about this show, but then you kind of feel interested at the same time. I don't know. So then Idol goes over how she's being like stalked or whatever, and fast forward, the stalker pull up and drop the doctor. Doctor is dead. Like, literally, bro. So practically the idol has to hide the pregnancies to like stay valuable, you know, as an idol in that type of industry. Kind of have to keep your worth or whatever. So like having kids kind of ruin it, especially at her age of 16. So yeah. And on some anime science stuff, the dead doctor and the dead patient get reborn as her children. And as crazy as that may seem, they got reborn with their sense and their memories. But what's even crazier is that they don't know the other twin knew them in a past life. Then we start seeing them like grow up, and then we see like the idol getting back into the industry after her pregnancy. And then here comes the fucking twist. The idol gets like straight up sent to the gulag, bro.
Fuck.
And we found out that the same one that dropped her was the same fan that was stalking her, and then like he dropped her because he had found out about her pregnancy or some crazy shit on some like crazy fanned out shit, and she just got knocked. Alright, I'm kind of being disrespectful. So like before we continue, there was this part where he stabs her, the fan, like the weird fan. He was saying like she lied to her fans, and then she's like dishonest, and then she starts like bashing herself and like agreeing with him, and then she's like she's dirty and she's trying to love her fans, and even though he stabbed her, even now she's trying to love him, and it's just like a genuine sentimental scene. I don't know, it's one of the hardest scenes I've ever seen, and it's like the shots were the best thing in anime 2023, like on this scene alone. And it goes over this dialogue where she's like, I don't love anyone, I don't know how to love anyone, but I'm trying to love. Even now I'm trying to love you. And then it's like, damn, like that shit did hit different. I'm not gonna lie, that shit hit. And for the first time, even her kids, like Ruby and Aqua, the twins, you know, doctor and patient, out of the 3 to 4 years of being together, the idol, finally says she loves Aqua and Ruby. Yes, for the first time, she said she loved them, and she meant that. And then back to her just being dropped. She's dead. So fast forward, and Aqua villain arc practically starts. Nigga literally turns into light with the skills of L. I'm not gonna lie. He starts going into the industry, researching who his real dad is, because he thinks he's the one behind the murder that like hired the fan to do all of that. And then the show really kickstarts, and then it's like a good watch from there, and I just can't wait till season 2 comes out. The show is just good all around, so definitely recommend. Now, Heavenly Delusion is in a different league of its own. If you're not the smartest, do not watch this show. The way this show is set is unreal. The angles and the camera shots are so crisp. It has a movie type look, but has an old school anime look, and they leave you hints that not the regular person would pick up. You kind of have to be on your feet with this show, I'm not gonna lie. So like you follow 2 perspectives. First is like the 2 kids siblings, like just traveling the unknown world, and then it's like the cursed kids, and you live in a apocalyptic world, I would say, with monsters. And then the show is calm yet loud. It's like Promised Neverland on drugs, and it's like that's all I want to say about this show. I don't want to spoil it, but that show is definitely a top contender for 2023. I don't know how it's not broadcasted more, but that's literally Heavenly Delusion. We got Hell's Paradise, and before we get into this one, I just want to say overrated, but let's get to it. We have a damn near immortal main character off the rip, which is like, I don't know, I just don't like those shows. I feel like it's just childish, or I don't know, but he's up for execution. He's like an assassin or whatever, and they're practically trying to execute him. He meets the executioner, and he tries to pull off some emotions. He tried to pull off like an emo, I don't want to live type look. I don't know. But then she almost hit, bro, with that bankai, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Executioner says he loves someone, and he remembers his wife. He supposedly like low-key don't want to love, but love her. So again, it's like an emo vibe that he's kind of giving off. And again, it's just kind of childish, but he goes back emo mode and says, but I can't be with her because of my crimes. And he did shit, yeah, he a killer, but executioner says to sign this and you straight. She practically says sign this contract and you'll be good. And this is where I'm like kind of intrigued. The show is losing me, but I'm kind of like, what's going on here? And then we meet more weird like villain characters, just a bunch of vibrant characters, and then they have to collect the elixir of life on this like monster island or some crazy stuff like that. Then they gotta cut their numbers in half because there's too many criminals going to the island and it's not enough executioners, so they start like demolishing each other and stuff like that. And I mean, like, he just took some of these like criminals out in one scene. Like, they literally got off screen. That was literally the start. And then we get to the island, we see like the different vibrant characters. We know who's gonna make it or not, because like you can see the detail in the character design versus the ones that's not gonna make it. Go on this mystic island. It's a bunch of crazy stuff. Then we see these monsters like making out. I can't even show it on YouTube, I think, but the whole show is just like a mysterious vibe with the island and all that. But if you like action on mystery, I definitely recommend Hell's Paradise. And with that, that's gonna be the end of the video. If you guys want to see more like this, leave a like, drop a comment down below, tell me which section was your favorite, and subscribe for more.